MotoGP is about to rev into action for the Grand Prix of Australia. We're down under, ready for a thriller. Here, it's round 17 of the season. Welcome to MotoGP's Australian Grand Prix. Let's head down to the grid and join Susie Perry.
It's always so dramatic around Phillip Island, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an old school track, isn't it? So the fans are close to the action. The grid's narrow. The grid feels busier than normal because the track's narrow. So yeah, it's old school, but it's everything we love about racing.
Yeah, it really is. It's 13 metres wide. It's quite a narrow one. We're going to take a little pause now, though, for the national anthems.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by seas, our land abound in nature's gift of beauty rich and rare. In history's page at every stage had once Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, had once Australia fair.
The atmosphere building here in Phillip Island, then, and we'll go to everybody's favourite Aussie back in 15th, though. Jack Millet's not been his weekend so far. Far too many incidents with wildlife on track. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Jack, time for the Australian Grand Prix. You've gathered quite the collection of wildlife so far this weekend. What's next?
Yeah, no, bloody just saw a rabbit too on the outside of Stone. I said, go away, I've had enough of you. So, no, it was good. Decent warm-up. See what we can do now.
Good luck.
Cheers, eh?
I'm laughing because we're just watching David Alonso just wandering around. He's just having a lovely time. Just looks like a fan wandering around.
Well, he looks like a fan because he is a fan. Because
He is.
Can you imagine being? I think he's 18. He's just taking pictures. Look at him. I tell you what he's also doing. He's getting some deals sorted out for the future. So, yeah. It's not going to be long before he's sat on a motorcycle on this grid. Not long at all.
No, it's not. It's going to be a couple of years. He's already, obviously, he's already spoken to Steve, but he's such a great kid. He really is incredible. Right, Marc Marquez has turned up, and he is just to the right of our camera. It's still following David Alonso around, but going from the front of the middle rows, Mick Doohan said there earlier, if he doesn't make an error, he's in with a very good chance around here. But he's got to beat Jorge Martin, who really, really, really wants it.
Yeah, really, really wants it. But hey, do you reckon Mark's going to want it if he puts himself in that position? And Mark's got nothing to lose. Yes, you could say he's in the battle for third in the championship. Of course, that's a reality. But if there's a win, if there's half a chance of a win, Mark will risk everything for that.
And just to reiterate, of course, he passed Pecco yesterday, as did Anea, and they can, because they're still in with a chance of the championship as well, mathematically. It's far away, but you never know what's going to happen. And we don't really see team orders in this sport either, do we?
No, the only time to be honest, the only time we've really seen team orders, it could be at a last round of a championship if a teammate can help their teammate, maybe let someone pass. But there's no blocking tactics or anything like that. So, yeah, don't even be thinking about team orders until maybe we get to Valencia.
Yeah, and remember, Anea is leaving to go to another manufacturer next year. So, is he going to adhere to anything like that?
Probably not. Would you?
Well, probably not either. But what is so important here is obviously getting the start. It's so vital.
Yeah, so vital, because it's that long drag down to turn one. It's quite a wide turn one, but as you can see, you can easily get sucked in because it's a massive draft. If you're mid-pack, if you're around about 10th place, as you enter, there's a big hole in the air, so your stopping force is actually quite a lot longer. So it's really easy. We always say to get sucked in. So you have to be super, super careful.
OK, well, a little breeze picking up here. Let's go to Michael and get the very latest on what the tyre situation is.
Well, Susie, we've talked a lot about tyres this weekend, but Frustratingly, there's no one taking a gamble today. It does seem like it is going to be unanimous. Hard front for everyone, soft rear for the entire field. We know the soft rear was the race-winning tyre in the feature race 1 year ago. It also won the sprint yesterday. The medium rear, it just seemed to spin up and actually use more tyre without getting the forward push off the turn. So it seems like you will have to manage it. I spoke to Piero Taramasso and he said we weighed the tyres after the race. There was still some rubber left, not a huge amount, so they will have to sort of control the pace a little bit today, put the right mapping in, hold back the regression off the last corner, and then save something to fight in the last 4 laps. On the front end of the machine, we've seen Fabio Di Gianantonio. He did get a penalty, an 8-second penalty for being under the tyre pressure limit. The temptations there to drop the pressure in the front to get superior turning around the southern route around the last corner. But they will have to be a little bit cautious, up the pressure. Perfect conditions for the tyres, no issues today. It's going to be a clean race to the finish.
Thank you, Michael. Well, if you are just joining us, this is Phillip Island, and that is the beautiful run down to turn 1, which has caused all manner of problems. It's called Doan Corner, and for very good reason too. They go in there at just about 110 miles an hour plus, so every action is magnified, and that's what we saw yesterday also with the reaction being deduced. All 3 on the front row made a mistake yesterday. So Jorge Martin braked harder than Marc Marquez thought he was going to brake. And that meant that Marc ran wide, and that put paid to his sprint. Obviously, there was the big accident between Maverick Vinales and Bezzecchi. We've just talked about that. Let's just head through here to the second row. So Bezzecchi's got a long lap penalty. He's going to have to go... He's going to have to go and do a long lap. Let's go through to the second row to Pecco Bagnaia, because he yesterday was a sitting duck, which was part of the wildlife of this track. That is not what he wants today. They've made absolutely massive changes on that bike. He looked really planted, and he should be able to go forward. 16 points, the difference then between him and the championship leader. Enea Bastianini took him yesterday. He's got to come all the way through from 10th place. But let's just move to the front of the grid then. Well, hopefully there's not so many people here, and you can get a clearer view of what's going on. This is where the atmosphere really starts to get intense. Marc Marquez can go with this, but it's Jorge Martin leading the championship by 16 points, who looks fantastic around here. But what about this circuit? It's hard to know whether he's the biggest star or the circuit himself. And with names like Stoner, Doan and Siberia, you know that this is the greatest racetrack in the world.
We are ready for the Thunder Down Under. MotoGP gets ready for the Australian Grand Prix. The championship is a hoot. Jorge Martin extending the gap in the championship over that of Pecco Bagnaia. Here's your grid then, same as the sprint race, -1. Jorge Martin on pole for Marc Marquez and Maverick Vinales. Then it's Bezzecchi, Bagnaia, Raul Fernandez, Morbidelli, Alex Marquez and Rins ahead of Bastianini, Binder, Bastianini, Binder, Di Gianantonio, Marini, Zarco, Miller, Augusto Fernandez, Mir, Quadraro, Aleix Spargo. Salvadori is declared unfit. might still be out there on the second. Wait to see. Nakagami and Pedro Acosta is also declared unfit from this event. So I don't think we'll see Salvadori. We're definitely not seeing Pedro Acosta. And Marco Bezzecchi has been given a double long lap penalty for causing that crash yesterday. Alongside me, Megan Burge. Megan, the sprint race was fantastic. 4 a.m. now. Let's see what we've got to offer here for this one.
Hopefully they can try and behave at least marginally. Please.
Please, please, please behave out there on the circuit. That's what we need to see right now. We don't want any problems.
Also, it's still 15 degrees out there.
But the track temperature has risen up to 37, the highest it's been of the weekend so far. So there is slight positives coming through. Interesting just quickly to point out that everybody's out there on hard front, soft rear tyres, so that has stayed the same across the board as well. SHG says, I hope we get the battle for the race win from the start to the end. 136 points from possible remaining as well. This is your championship points coming into this race at the moment as well. Jorge Martin leads on 404. 16 points back is Pecco Bagnaia on 388. Marc Marquez, 84 back, the same as Nea Bastianini. They are the only 4 mathematically in hunt for the championship, Megan. But realistically, it's Martin versus Bagnaia with 4 races to go and 3 sprint races.
Unless something terrible happened in each of the upcoming races, then it's definitely just Martin and Bagnaia to play for.
Who's your money on today, Martin or Bagnaia?
Martin.
My money's on Martin as well. Marc Marquez has said he wants to go for it and wants to have more action. Ready then for the Australian Grand Prix of MotoGP. Red flag gone, green flag ready. Ready to launch into action. It's all eyes to the lights. 9 on. And pull the throttle back as Marc Marquez gets a massive wheelie and goes right back through the field. So maybe he wasn't going to get the demon start he wanted. Alex Marquez trying to go through on the inside as well. Jack Miller coming on the outside line as well. Miller's going to be very close and they both go wide off the track as a result. So Miller's down to the back. Alex Marquez 2. At least Miller's now out of the race. Marc Marquez, terrible start for Cristini. Great start for Martin. He leads Bezzecchi. Bagnaia's already up to 3rd, Megan. But what a terrible start for Marc Marquez. That whole shot device needs banning. It just wheel spinned off the line.
It really was a bad start for both the Grassinis and Mead. That's basically going into last position and into midfield at the same time. And Marc Marquez makes his way up into 6th position right now.
Bastianini takes 2nd position as well as Marc Marquez got passed by Enea Bastianini. Bezzecchi's taken 2nd position is what I'm on about there. Sorry about that. So Bezzecchi's 2nd, Bagnaia 3rd as well. There's too many Bass names in the series at the moment coming through. Salvadori is racing in this one.
Yeah. You can see he's managed to make that up. And was that Aleix dropping down?
Aleix has dropped a couple of places as well as Morbidelli and Binder closing together out there. There. Aleix dropping back further back as well.
Long lap penalty for Alex Marquez and Bezzecchi.
So Alex Marquez, a long lap penalty, has come up on the board as well. Okay, ding dong, we've got a race on now, but we want to battle for this one. Over the line we go then, 26 laps to go as the Australian Grand Prix. Martin leads, Bezzecchi 2nd, Bagnaia 3rd, down to turn 1 at Doohan corner, and no one going for move. Ralph Fernandez gets ahead of Rins, Augusto Fernandez passes Mir, Aleix passes Salvadori as well. So far, good stuff, and this Grand Prix is on.
Aleix Espargaro passes Mia for 17th position, and it's 26 laps to go as we complete our first full lap.
Over the lines together then into Miller and Morbidelli up the inside of Bagnaia, runs it too deep. Bagnaia cuts back. Binder tries to cut in as well for a go round the outside coming into Siberia, and he's got the move done as well. Nicely done from Binder, and now we're going to see some real fireworks at the front. Bezzecchi still got that penalty to serve, so Bagnaia needs to clear him and not let Martin get in a distance at the front.
Alex Marquez has completed his long lap penalty.
Bezzecchi hasn't taken his. Come on.
And Brad Binder's up into 4th. Here's a replay of the start. That was a very bad getaway for Marc Marquez. Seemed to stall. His back wheel seemed to stall.
me. I didn't know there was some sort of paper that got shunted down there as well. It was. Let's have a look on board.
Like
Paul's,
ice, one of them.
Yeah, that whole shot device just failed. Completely failed.
Don't know what happened.
Gigi Delinea pressed that magic red button that he was threatening about as well. 128.3 for Martin. He's got the fast lap down into Doohan Corner, then turn 1, the downhill, long sweeping right-hander, which leads into turn 2, the southern loop, another left-hander, kink up 3 at Stoner Curve coming up shortly as well. Miller's past Marini back to 14, so Miller on home soil starting to have his race improve a little bit, but Martin at the moment dominating at the moment in this race. He's dominant. He's sort of 3/10 ahead. But is Bezzecchi going to take that long lap penalty? No. He'll get a penalty on the next lap then, otherwise he'll get a black flag.
Right, so Ismael Fernandez up into 11th and Jack Miller is up into 14th. So let's hope there's no seagulls to interrupt him this time.
Yeah, he had a seagull caught in his brake duct yesterday as well, and I think a hare as well. You know, one of those rabbit or geese, whatever it is.
I saw one of those seagulls hanging around at the start.
They're all over the place at the moment. Of course, we need Andrea Iannone back in the sport. Andrea Iannone could come back into MotoGP to replace Gigi Antonio in the last 2 races of the year, as well at Malaysia and Valencia. He nutted the seagull, headbutted it a couple of years ago as well. Megan looks tired. Megan's ill. She's battling illness at the moment as well, so she's getting really up it as well. Sleep deprivation, and she's not very well either as well. As Quadrara gained 8 places on the board as well. Flying start from him, and Nakagami's gone down to 20th position, mate.
Brad Binder does a 128.253.
Oh, hello. This is...
that?
Sorry, Marc Marquez on the inside of Binder, but Binder shut that door on him coming through into Exeter 2 at the southern loop, into turn 3, then at Stoner. Mark can't find a way through.
Bezzecchi's down.
Yeah, he's doing his long lap. That's his,
long lap.
Yeah. I thought he was going to because he got cut through, yeah.
Down.
Adam says, feel better soon.
I'll try.
What is wrong with you, actually? Is it just tiredness and your mosquito bites make you feel ill?
No, it's not the mosquito bites.
Well, we might need... Well, lucky thing is that you might actually miss your second Grand Prix of the year. You were in... Think about it. You were a month ago in Singapore as well, if I remember correctly. You just get ill on monthly cycles.
I don't know.
Bezzecchi's completed his long lap penalty. Don't state the obvious.
My head just really hurts. I think it's because I've barely had any sleep, and when I
Get some
am
sleep.
hungry, and
Right, we need
then all the noise and the lights, and it's.
Megan,
Also, I've been feeling like I've been getting a cold for the past few days.
Megan needs food, water, and drink. You didn't come to the box with water. I told you to.
I don't want water.
Oh, well, don't set your headset lead on fire. That's the last thing we
I'm
need.
not gonna.
As it comes through. Martin leads. Is it me or is Marc Marquez still struggling with that bike? He's still he can't get the access to it as well.
Well, it refuses to start on it. So.
Yeah. He has, as SHG's pointed out, he has got ahead of Brad Binder. Morbidelli to 4th, says Lou as well. Vinales gets ahead.
Bezzecchi's down.
No, what, that is
Crashed out.
Yeah, Bezzecchi's crashed out at the same part of the track. You do your long lap, Lupan. So he did the long lap and he's crashed it. Marco Bezzecchi is out of the Australian Grand Prix at turn 4 at Miller Corner.
At this point, I just accept my fate and just not.
He's rejoined the
Terrible.
race. He's rejoined the race. You were saying?
I just accept it. I don't know what he's up to. I mean, yesterday it was saying don't race, and now it's literally made him go out.
Yeah, just dropped the front on the inside into turn 4. Trail breaks in and it just goes on him. That's really unusual, actually, to snap the mid-corner.
Right in front of his teammate, too.
Yeah, SHG says, what a nightmare weekend for Bezzecchi. As Megan will point out, all they want is to eat the ramen. Eat the noodles that he was having in the practice. Move over, you can hear Marc Marquez saying now. He's going through on Franco Morbidelli for 3rd place. He's making up once again, like in the sprint race. Pad starts for Marc Marquez both days, and boy is he making up for it. And Morbidelli trying to fight back, and I've pulled stitch.
That isn't good.
Just hurt a little bit. Go on.
Okay, so 22 laps to go. Martin is currently leading this race with Bagnaia very close behind. Marc Marquez is currently battling Jaco Morbidelli, and that is very close between the two of them. Both have red sector 2 times, whereas the sector 1s are, well, less to be desired.
Sorry, the stitch got caught in the tooth.
Maybe?
That hurt a little bit, actually. Or if I was pulling it tighter, so it was hurting a bit.
Maybe try talking less.
Yeah, it's dissolvable stitches, apparently. Don't know when they're going to dissolve, so, yeah.
Guess when you don't start pulling them.
So, down the hill we go, then. Marc Marquez, 1.7. Look at all the seagulls! They're all over the top!
They're hatching a plan for Miller.
I implore all of you watching after this race, go and watch Bad Lip Reading on YouTube, Yoda, the Seagulls song. That's exactly what we've had stuck in our heads all weekend long here in Phillip Island. Bezecchi rejoining last place. I have to say this, Mark is probably the most fun rider to watch in the 2024 Premier Class season as well.
Oh, we need to drop 1 position.
Where is he on the board? 14th.
Yeah.
So he's got to give it to Augusto Fernandez. That's a weird call around.
Why is this?
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Phillip Island is always one of my favourite Aussie circuits. It's one of mine, Adam, as well. I remember us calling the race last year, actually, as well. On the Saturday, and then the Sunday got washed out.
Due to overtaking under yellow flag.
It's just flashed up on the main monitor now as well. So Luca Marini, as Megan says, overtaken under the yellow flag, dropped 1 place. So Martin and Bagnaia, 7 tenths between those two at the moment. Augusto retains 14th position at the moment, yeah.
All that penalty completed for Marini.
Did he have a long lap penalty, or was it just to give 1 place back?
I don't know.
I don't know why that's come up, because it wasn't a long lap penalty.
He never had one.
No, he never had. It was to give a place back. The stewards are just inventing penalties now. It's only lap 7.
What is this, F1?
It is F1. It's just to say penalty complete. It's not a long lap. Okay. I
press the wrong button.
I don't know where that comes from. He's absolutely struggling. Marini has been given a 1 position penalty, has to be dropped. Here comes Digi on the inside of Bastianini. Look at how late Bastianini can brake on that GP24 bike compared to last year's model into Doohan Corner.
Do you know
so
what?
much further down.
He might have actually done a long lap penalty because he's dropped more than 1 position.
He's dropped to 16th place. Has he got it wrong?
I think he must have been told wrong.
I think he's got it wrong. I think, by the way, Marc Marquez just done a 1:27.9. He's broken the record he set in 2013, 11 years ago. So that we've got a new fastest ever lap race around this circuit belonging to Marc Marquez on a 23 Ducati.
Woohoo.
Just saying. 23 Ducati. But, yeah, I reckon you're right. I reckon Marini has misunderstood the give 1 place back, and he's thinking it's one lap, long lap.
Yeah.
So he's done a long lap, and he's got it wrong. Yeah, I reckon he's read it wrong.
They probably weren't very clear with him.
Because it flashed up on the dashboard.
Yeah.
So Marini's done a long lap penalty.
He probably saw the 1 and thought, oh, it's a long lap penalty.
And there goes Digi trying to go down the inside, down through Luki Heights into MG, but Bastianini got straight back through as they're coming to the last corner. Digi's now going to try and close up behind him and slipstream into that first corner at Doohan. It's a long enough straight, it's a perfect last corner exit. Bastianini's going to go defensive. Here comes Digi again on the onboard. Down it towards turn number 1. Pulls to the inside line. Last the late breakers here. Digi knows it. Just lifts it off again. And Bastianini sliding that GP24 bike around as well. Loving every second of it.
Jack Miller goes up into 11th position with no signs of distress from seagulls.
Stop it now. Ha, 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 ha. Do you remember that?
Kind of.
What's happening?
Here's a replay of the start.
I knew he took something off the dash.
Yes.
What is he doing?
Do you know, I'm sort of messing around and I'm thinking he needs to focus now. Because
he took a visor strip off.
When it goes away, I saw the sticker. I said there's something there.
I knew it.
What are the chances? I have never seen anything like that.
Do you reckon
do
it
you
could have
know-
got caught?
Do you know, it's exactly what it is. Marc Marquez has taken a visor strip off before when the green flag went away. He's put it behind the bike and he's got caught on the rear tyre. And when he's gone to accelerate, it's just revved off the tyre. So, exactly,
own fault.
exactly to your point, Megan, the tear-off strips have caused Marc Marquez's poor start. I've never seen that.
I told you tear-offs were bad.
I have, in all my years of commentating on MotoGP, never, not once in my life, have I seen that type of accident.
I've been waiting for the day.
That is ultra bizarre. Like, 1,000,000 times out of 10, you will never see that again in MotoGP. I am flabbergasted by that one. I said there was some form of sticker. Gavin Emmett saw there was a sticker as well. Something flicked up from behind. I thought it was like a winglet that had fallen off the bike. But no, it's his visor strip. The red flag, the man's there with the red flag. He's taken the visor strip off.
Doesn't even look like it was his first visor strip he pulled off.
No, he didn't. There was multiple there, didn't he? He put it to the side of the bike and then goes, oh, where did it go? Oh, hang on, the lights are on. I better concentrate here. So, Marc Marquez has got completely distracted by the start procedure and, to put it a better way, he messed it up. I don't know if
He's
he
in
just-
third, so...
And he's going to have a go now on Pecco Bagnaia as well. So it's not over yet as they come through into Lukey Heights, down into MG. So now, three-way fight again for the Australian Grand Prix. Martin, 7/10, Bagnaia, Marquez, I should say, 2/10 between them. Game on.
Alex Marquez is currently in 17th position, having separated the two Hondas.
Well, this race just keeps on giving. It's a strange one. Here comes Mark on the GP23 bike, passing Pecco Bagnaia on the GP24. But again, that 24's got so much more brake. Oh, I thought he went down, didn't you? I thought Mark went down. The way that
Thought
bike...
he went a little bit wide.
It did wobble like crazy into one. That's what Neil Hodgson was talking to us about in the pre-show as well. If you cut off the aero, you lose about 50% of your braking. And you can see how it's twitching now. Mark's bike's twitching like crazy. This is fantastic. And Bagnaia's going to try and block every which way possible to stop Marc Marquez coming back through. 17 laps to go of this Grand Prix. It's lap 11 now, and we have got a three-way fight at the front between Martin Bagnaia and Marc Marquez, the top three in the World Championship.
Alex Marquez has just moved up into 16th position, and Bagnaia is currently doing quite well and is setting track bests.
Faster and faster and faster, again and again and again, time upon time as well. Frankie Cardetti has just reacted to the tail off, getting caught in the rear spin. Yeah, so it is. Even Frankie's saying it as well. Marc Marquez's crew chief watching on. Bagnaia's gone wide. Here we go again then down the start-finish straight. Marc Marquez will get in the slipstream. Left or right? Right's the answer. Inside line into do and corner turn one. But again, so much more braking power for the GP24 bike. Mark can't keep up. And Martin's gone wide. Martin's made a mistake.
Huh.
Martin's really made a mistake to the first two corners. Down through doing in the southern loop. And now they're all together again. I'm going to have to change cameras here, Megan, as well.
Gonna let them through.
Yeah, you're going to have to change cameras. So you might need to stand up in a second because Bagnaia has taken the lead in the race. Bagnaia leads. Martin's going to be down to third. Marquez trying to come through as well. Martin on the inside. Bagnaia goes wide. Marquez goes through on the inside. Marquez takes second place. We've got a race on our hands here, everybody.
Not bad for a guy who just had a tear-off stuck in his wheel.
Yeah, and it hasn't affected him, has he? That's proved. Just put him on the GP24 bike. Watch what he can do. But the important thing here is that what on earth happened to Martin? 7/10 ahead, and he made even wider one.
Why did he make a mistake? Well, he's Martin.
Yeah.
They usually make a slight mistake, and I'm starting to feel again.
Well, get your energy back because this is going to be an absolute barnstormer in Australia.
Well, I feel sick.
Is that heat? Do you want me to take it off?
No.
All right, fair enough.
It's because of how much I'm talking.
Anyways, give me a minute. We might have
I'm
another
not
one
even
here.
talking that much.
over the line again. Martin's going to feel the pressure now as well. It's pumping, it's pumping, it's pumping the adrenaline. Down it towards turn number 1. Marquez pulls the outside line, won't do the old switcheroo. Bagnar's now back in third. They're running all together, but one of them is going to fall. I've just got this feeling that we're going to see someone crack under this pressure.
Well, I don't know about them three, but further down the field, with no sign of seagulls in sight, Jack Miller reaches number 10 in the position. So, got into that 10th position now. Next up on his list is Ralph Fernandez.
Gets ahead of Fabio Quartararo as the top 3 in this Grand Prix enter Miller at turn 4. That sounded a bit sexual, didn't it, as well, for 4 a.m. in the morning as well. But no, they've gone around the hairpin. Now they're into Siberia, up through the hill again, through one of my favourite sections of the entire circuit. The long, sweeping, opening backstretch. You can really open up these engines and let them sing. You rise up towards Lukey Heights at turn 12. It'll be a drop down the hill in towards turn 13 as well. Again, this is where we're going to be seeing. This is great. Moto 3 this morning. Moto 3 a couple of hours ago was like.
Feels so good.
Moto 3 was like, what was it? It was like everything was exploding at once. Moto 2...
That's when my headache started.
Yeah, because that was hard to keep a track of. Moto 2 had a close fight at the finish. And now MotoGP just picking everything together, getting it all again as Marquez tries to close in on Jorge Martin down to turn 1. I don't think he's going to have the move.
I don't think he's going to have the move yet. Maybe in a few more laps, but there's a replay right now of the top 3 going round one of the corners.
Down to 4.
Yeah.
That was Martin retaking the lead away from Bagnaia, and that allowed Marquez to slip back to on the inside line. So just that force back manoeuvre between the two, that changed it all again. Zarco overtakes Quartararo into 11th. Quartararo really struggling, says SHT and Lou. Coming through as well. Adam says as well the MotoGP season will go down to the season finale. I think it will do as well. I need to sneeze. That's going to be painful.
Just under 3/10 separates Martin and Marc Marquez currently. So that gap is getting closer and closer between them.
Yeah, it's closing and it is getting faster.
Mark isn't even pushing that much.
Well, Japan didn't necessarily deliver on the action. Australia is certainly giving us one to entertain. It's the best racetrack in the world. It's the best race that we have on the MotoGP calendar. We ride now with Marc Marquez on the Gresini number 93 out of turn 14, the last corner. And now slowly pulling that throttle at the exit and closing up on Martin down towards turn number 1, but it's still a bit too far back.
Right, 13 laps to go of this.
That was halfway.
race.
We've just done halfway
Yeah.
the race. 14, yeah, was it 14 and 14 to go? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Digi on the inside with Bastianini swinging around the outside into Doohan with Binder just ahead. Digi's keeping his arms together and he's got ahead of Bastianini again. He's kept 6th place.
Alesia's just dropped down 2 positions to Marini and Alex Marquez. I mean, I thought he was like out. But
yeah.
He's fine.
I really enjoy what SHG is saying right now, lads. Imagine if they crash the top 3. And then we've got Morbidelli leading the race. And this will be the battle for the lead as Digi dives up the inside. Binder cuts back and then through goes Bastianini. So Digi got screwed there. And here comes as well Maverick Vinales sweeping through. Digi's not going to let that one slide though. Maverick's going to have to live to fight another day.
Yeah, Vinales cannot seem to get past D'Antonio right now. I think D'Antonio's just had enough recently, to be honest. It's just like, I don't want to have to deal with any more of people.
A quick side note, Bagnaia has dropped 7/10 to Marc Marquez, but a full 1.1 seconds to Martin. So the top 2 in the race are Martin and Marc Marquez. They're the 2 siding together as Digi gets very close to Bastianini coming through MG.
Now reached 12 laps to go of this race, and in my mind I'm thinking slowly, it's just one more lap until you can go to bed.
Very tired. Yeah, but think about it, we actually get about 14 hours before we have to race again.
You won't see me for about 13 of those.
Digi goes through very late, not going to work there, but Bastianini takes 6th, Digi down to 7th, Vinales still in 8th position as well, trying to find their way through into Southern Loop. So Bastianini's up to 6th place. interesting race, this one. Ditch is fighting back so hard, and Mark is right there as well, just waiting for Martin to make that critical error, make that crash, and then it's all going to go bang, 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 bang in the race.
Needed that stretch. Right, so Bagnaia is currently pushing extremely hard, and have you noticed how there is the slightest colour differentiation from the two different reds? Like, look at Marc Marquez and the red in his sector 1 compared to the reds in Bagnaia's sectors 1 and 2.
This is your slower of the two faster, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's 20.850 for Bagnaia, so he's got faster, so he's actually closing back in. The gap is still within a second. TV pictures are having a bit of a glitch at the moment. There we go. Gap between Martin and Bagnaia in the championship will be exactly 1 race victory, which means it will go down probably to Malaysia at this point in the championship. It won't be settled in next time out.
Neither of them want to win.
So it looks like it will go down to the final race of the season just because how close it is. There's 36 points still on offer, remember, per weekend.
I generally don't know who will win.
I don't know either. Marquez, though, is closing in. He might win today for a 3rd win of the season. He's closing in on Martin as he comes through Stoner into Miller hairpin. Martin can feel cool now. He said in the press conference on Friday, I want to go back to 2014, 2015 to really understand what my talent is. We all joked and said, yeah, you'll be Carl Abraham right at the back of the field because you'll be racing against aliens of Jorge Lorenzo, Valentino Rossi, Danny Pedrosa, Marc Marquez back in his prime. And everyone said, just you wait until Mark's on a GP24 bike. Look what he's doing on a GP23 bike, Megan. He's hounding the back of a 24 championship contender.
Although should be scared at the fact that he can do this on last year's bike.
What can he do on next year?
A bike with little data.
And also, it's limited data, but also no updates. It's now, nearly 2 years out of date compared to this one.
And he can school them, basically.
Yeah, lap after lap. And he's only, 2/10 off of Martin. This is Marc Marquez proving to everybody, look, I'm here to stay.
The only reason he didn't take the lead at the start was because he accidentally got a visor strip caught.
Yeah, he would have got him down to turn 1. And that makes Mark angry. You don't like Mark when he's angry.
He blames himself.
Down into the braking zone. Again, through Stoner into Miller at 4. Gap now a 10.5. I'm just waiting for that little opportunity. Martin brakes late. Marc Marquez brakes just a tad later. So close to the exit between the two of them. Now they're sort of leaving Bagnaia in dust.
Bagnaia's just like giving up, I feel.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, this isn't my race. Which is weird, giving up 10 laps to go.
In a world championship fight with your main rival.
No, it doesn't feel like 10 laps to go.
No, and Bagnaia hasn't had that pace all weekend. You've been in the box for every single session. He's had no pace.
I generally also feel so. This race is too many laps.
Yeah, 27 is a bit too... Oh, Bashy is past Binder, by the way, so he's up to 5th.
I feel like 24 would be the better one.
I would agree. It's been extended to 27 since the new regulations of the bikes, and I think when we have the engine changeover, eventually it will change over again. I'm going to have to switch camera angles as well, because I'm seeing that this is going to get very tasty indeed, and they might go down, so I need to get closer to the mic screen here. Marc Marquez reeling in Jorge Martin like a fish down into turn 1 at Dewan. The bitey corner, 9 to go.
It's got very close there.
Is this classic Marc Marquez, just sitting behind, waiting for the opportunity to pounce, and then pouncing with a couple of laps to go?
Yes.
Yeah. 10th now. 2 seconds. They've pulled 2 seconds to Bagnaia, for God's sake.
Bagnaia's just hoping he can catch up, but he won't.
Here he goes, up the inside. He thinks about it. Martin goes defensive. Marquez in Miller hairpin. He had a little look. He braked it late into Siberia. Now, who's going to crash? Martin or Marquez? It's
Martin.
one of the two. Oh, and I just
Salvadori enters the pits.
Yeah, so Salvadori is out. He's riding injured. I'm surprised he's got this long. Well
First
well done,
retirement.
Lorenzo. Jorge Martin is bait to Marc Marquez's fish, says Adam. You bang on there, my friend. It's hook, line, sinker at the moment. What's going on here? This is Marc Marquez showing to everybody, this is what I can do on a 23 bike. Next year, I'm world champion. He's so much more closer coming out of turn 14. Over the line we go. He's so close now, Marc Marquez. Over the line together. Is he going to have a little look? It was 63 thousandths at the line. And Marquez still doesn't want to go for it yet. He could have there. He's playing chicken with him. Ha, it's classic Marc. It's classic Marc. He's playing chicken. Ha! I'm loving this. I'm loving it. I know we got bored of Marc Marquez dominating Grand Prix. But this is proper chicken and egg. Martin goes a bit wide. And I thought Marc Marquez might think about a move on the inside line. Not going to go there.
Someone just moved.
Vinales and Digi swapping places. So, and Quadraro passes Zarco.
I don't have a calculator on me, but I have my brain, and I'm predicting maybe 9 more minutes.
Time would back that up. Yeah, it'll take us to 40. So, yeah. I agree with your statement there.
And I'm tired, and I can do maths like that.
Over the hill and far away, Marc Marquez has come to play as he closes into MG. Round the last corner at 14. Martin's going to have to go defensive once again. Everyone's watching on nervous. Everyone knows exactly what could happen and what could go wrong. Over the line again. 7 laps to go here at Phillip Island. Who's going to win the Australian Grand Prix? They've pulled 3 seconds now to Pecco Bagnaia at the line.
Bagnaia is now just... Okay, imagine if there was like a towboat. That's what he's like right now.
Look at him, look at him, look at him. Attach a magnet and watch it pull. This is unbelievable. Marc Marquez is showing exactly what he's done to everybody in the past. It's the old...
Traumatize him?
Yes. I'm bordering calling it domestic abuse.
He's playing with them.
It's the devil on the shoulder.
He's just staying that much... He's staying that little bit too much back that you don't know whether he's going to make a move or just give up.
And Martin knows he's there. He can feel him. It's the breath on the back of the neck as well. Every time, Martin is just going to be looking forward, but he knows Marc's there.
Because his eyes aren't on the track.
Yeah.
His eyes are on Martin. He has his target.
It's a classic alien technique as well. Keep those eyes focused. Don't break contacts. It's like you go into a bit... Well, 6 to go now. And this is just going to... Look, they've checked out. Bagnaia's just gone, you can have it today. 3.4 seconds.
Bagnaia's just like, I've been through this before. I don't want it again.
Bagnaia had to fight Marc Marquez for his first ever victory back in Aragon. All those years ago. This is brilliant. This is Martin really putting his stamper on that I want to be the world champion of 2024. And this is Marc Marquez going, so you want to race with aliens? You want to show what your talent is? I'll give you a game on a year-old bicycle. This is Marc fighting the youngsters with one arm tied behind his back.
He's basically saying, face me.
Yeah.
It's like, you want to be champion?
I tell you what. This is, if anyone saw the last Halloween film with Michael Myers, this is Marc Marquez as Michael Myers teaching his protege, that kid in that film, who's Jorge Martin. He's teaching him how to kill, how to do it. He's just learning the strategy. And then, at the end, Marc's going to teach him everything and then pounce and kill him.
Do you know, this is reminding me of, do you know that funny skits of Halloween where just... staring in the back garden and then just like doing all these random funny things. That's Mark right now. Playing chess with another killer. That's Magnolia.
Michael Myers, Mark Marquez. There's not much difference between the two when you've got to think about it. Yeah, down to turn one again with 5 laps to go. Is he going to think about a move? No, but she's playing with him. And Martin saw him there. I saw Martin. He looked back for a split second and he could see Mark Marquez right behind him. It must be the worst.
He's got closer.
It's the worst feeling on the world to know that someone's right there. And you're right, he has got closer. He's pulling him in more as well. And Martin is going to be feeling it. He's going to be knowing. It's going to be the old heart's going to be pounding like crazy.
If they were standing next to each other right now, Mark would be creepily saying hi.
He's not even, maybe saying boo as well, or just silently locking the door of the hotel as well.
Like, what'd you do?
Yeah, this is very much Mark Marquez now just stalking the back. This is fantastic. They pull out 4.3 seconds to Magnolia.
It's like Stewie Griffin.
Yeah, screw anything that's happening in the rest of the race. It's all eyes on these two for a cracking Australian Grand Prix.
It's like Stewie Griffin asking, where's my money?
Yeah.
Good day to you, sir.
Thing is, we all know what's going to happen. With 2 laps to go, Marquez will make the move, and then on the last lap, he'll mug him.
Yeah.
It's poetry.
Speaking of, Bastianini, 4th.
It's like, we all know Mark Marquez. Oh yeah, he's up to 4th now. Yeah, so that's great. He's past Binder. We all know what's going to happen. It's almost sad watching it because Martin doesn't stand a chance compared to the legend of Mark Marquez. Here we go again. Here's the first attempt. Just a little break late over the line. See who's going to be doing what wears around you.
I wonder if Martin knows what's happening.
Martin's going to know. And look, he made a mistake. Turned too late.
Nerves.
Marquez is right there. He's going to go around the outside. Now he's making his presence known with 4 to go. It's the same tactic.
Every move you make.
I'll be watching you. Here we go. Marquez to the inside line. Martin's having to go defensive. Martin's going to go late wide. Marquez goes through. And Mark Marquez leads the Australian Grand Prix. He bullied Martin into making his own mistake. He made Martin go defensive, and Marquez just slipped back through on the inside.
I love that Mark just basically tortures everyone into making mistakes.
It's the psychological break.
And then he makes his move.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's abuse. It is psychological abuse at its best. And now we've got 3 laps to go now. Martin's going to try and fight back, but you're not going to break Mark Marquez. If he does it, I'll be incredibly surprised.
I wonder how many therapists have had Mark Marquez as the key subject out of the drivers.
Hey, it might not be that bad. Marquez, don't forget, it's on a year-old bike. Martin's on a 24 bike. Over the line we go, and they're side by side of the line. 1,000th of a second into turn 1. Martin breaks late. Martin takes the lead back with 3 to go. On the inside of doing last the late breakers, and now Mark is starting to think, have I been off more than I can chew? No, I'm Mark Marquez. He's getting right back with him.
It's like that phrase like, come here, you little...
Yeah, he's angry now. He's angry. And Augusta Fernandez and Spargo battling on the last couple of places. Into turn 4, Mark's angry! Mark's dive-bombed him on the inside of turn 4! He was really angry there! He's put the youngster in his place, he trail breaks in and reaches the lead back!
What we're seeing is the end of a horror movie where the villain just can't stand the stupidness of the supposed hero anymore.
This is fantastic! And now Martin's going to get even more angry! This is brilliant! Mark was not taking no for an answer. We are watching murder live on television. This is fantastic. This will hurt Martin as well because of what he said in the press conference on Friday, that he wants to know what his skill set level is. He wanted to race back in 2014 and 2015 season where you're racing against
He wouldn't have survived.
No, because you're racing against that man right there in his prime, and Lorenzo, and Rossi, Pedrosa, everybody. Over the line with 2 to go. Martin's angry again into turn 1. He's going to try and trail break. Hasn't worked out. Marquez goes nice into turn 1, but leaves off the throttle. Martin had more speed. Martin looks to the inside of the southern lead. Can't work out. Marquez keeps the lead. And Martin has cost himself 3/10 because he was off the normal racing line.
You want to race in 2013 to 14, then you're going to have a lot of therapy bills and a lot of guts.
I think Marquez is now going to toy with Martin. He knows this is the penultimate lap, so he knows. Marquez now knows he has to anticipate that Martin is going to plan a move for the last lap.
I feel like every so often he's just going to brake a little bit just to see what happens.
It's exactly what he's doing. Look, Marquez is sort of just up and over a bit too much. Marquez knows Martin will plan a dive bomb move on the last lap. So Marquez is going to try and block every opportunity he possibly can.
Mia's crashed out.
Mia's out. Look, he's blocked it into Lukey Heights.
Why do I feel like Mark hasn't played with his food for a long time, so now he's just making up for it here?
He's played with the food, he's resuscitated it, and killed it again!
There's one of his victims.
Final lap of a mega Australian Grand Prix, which has delivered time and time again. The gap between Marquez and Martin is now 0.3 of a second. It's all hands on deck for the last lap. It has been an absolute thriller. Marquez may have had the demon start with his own making, but he's fought back and he's schooled Martin on a year-old bike. Mark is going to have to really defend, though, because Martin wants points. Martin's got to think championship here, Megan, but he's not going to think that. He's going to want to beat Marc Marquez.
He's made it personal.
Yeah, he has. That's exactly it. They've made it personal.
And Mark knows that's how to make people lose.
Vulnerable is the don't make it personal.
Let your emotions get to you.
Valentino Rossi kicking Marquez off the bike in Sepang.
Now that was emotional.
Yeah, cost Rossi the title because he got that penalty start at the back of the grid in Valencia. So Marquez does know how to make people emotional. Whether that was Rossi's fault, Marquez's fault, fair, it doesn't really matter now because we're into Lukey Heights. This is the last sector of the track. Marquez does go defensive just in case because he hasn't looked back to see if Martin's there. It doesn't matter. This has been the ultimate show. We've had races won in dry and wet, but this has been Marc Marquez of old. Fear not, in a 23-year-old bike, he can still do it. Marc Marquez plays with his food and returns as the killer of Australia. Marquez wins a classic down under. Martin is second, Bagnaia is third, Digi fourth with Bastianini in fifth. But that was an absolute show that an old dog can still bite and can still charge. A handshake between the two, a thoroughly great race.
Send me the therapist bill.
It is Marc Marquez, a third win in 2024. I think, Megan, that one's going to mean the most of anything because that has showed that Marc Marquez is back to his old ways. That was Marc, as you say, playing with his food.
He still knows how to torture his opponent.
That was spectacular. I bow to Marc Marquez. That was fantastic and well worth 4:42 a.m.
Yeah.
What do you make of that?
I thought it was very impressive and hilarious.
And there goes the final visor strip. He started the race having a terrible start, and he's gone on to bloody won the thing.
Yeah.
He's world champion next year.
He better be.
On a 25 bike, Marquez is champion next year.
Be nice to have another one for him.
SHG's pointed out he was 13th at the start of the race.
Now he's first.
Right, I'm going to let you go because you're not well. What did you make of Australia?
I thought it was very entertaining and good. Are you sure you'll be okay?
I'll be fine for the last. I'll give it to BT.
Okay.
TNT, I should say. Cheers, Meg. See you later on
Bye.
for F1 and see you in a week's time in Indonesia where we'll have hopefully Julia or Maddie on the call as well. A flag for Marc Marquez to come in. A Spanish flag. The 93 flag. What a race for Marc Marquez. Let's hear from TNT Sports, Gavin Emmett, Neil Hodson.
He's just waved him over. That's not someone from the team.
That's made his weekend. That's made his lifetime. That has. Oh, I was that guy who ran out with the flag at Phillip Island. This is the moment, Neil.
It was so Marc Marquez, wasn't it? Oh, that wasn't the one.
No, it is.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
He turns underneath it.
Yeah, it was the lap before when we let the brake off. Yeah, there was a chance. There was room.
Was it a mistake from Martin?
Yeah, it was. It
Trying
was.
to
But
defend.
exactly, you've just been forced into it. That's what the reality is. You know that there's going to be a move in today. You break 1 metre later, then you end up missing the apex.
It'd be interesting to know if the team had said defend at 4. If rider number 4 means, you know, that's the corner you're vulnerable.
I'm going to say it must be that message. Gino Borsoi. It's not.
Having real-life nightmares.
Yeah, that was the lunge the lap before. So then, obviously, the lap after, then what does Martin do? Breaks a little bit later to prevent that from happening, and then that's what you end up with. That's the situation.
Oh, that's a great race. I'm so pleased we've had it, because after the turgid affair of Motegi, we've been served up a classic here. Oh, can we come here every week? We said it a year ago, Neil, after Johan Zarco won that race. Another one that was pinched from under Martin's nose.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But we're in Buriram next weekend, and think of the last lap battles we've had there with that beautiful last corner.
Well, last year, wasn't it? It was
Yes.
Martin versus Bagnaia versus Binder.
Yeah,
it was
three
one of the
abreast.
best battles we ever had.
Exactly, 3 abreast.
Mark Marquez is all right round there, you know. You remember his battles that he's had round there with the likes of Fabio Quartararo, yeah. That will taste sweet for Marc Marquez. 51 seconds faster than last year's Australian Grand Prix here. Obviously, that was in very strange conditions, but shows what a new asphalt can do. Gaël Massini welcomes him back in. That's his 3rd win of the season, of course, in the main race. I wonder if he'll hold up the number 3 after yesterday.
A serious question, Gav. Do you think he... look, they've all got tear-offs. Do you think he regrets leaving Honda?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Do you think he's enjoying his racing now?
Oh, what was his goal at the start of the year, though? This alone.
This.
Moments like this. Can I enjoy it again? Well, he's not only enjoying it, he's winning. He's showing that he's back to maybe not his best just yet, but I don't know, maybe on a GP25. How's that package going to look? He has gone with it. Number 3. Aragon, Lozano and Phillip Island now.
Explain the story.
Well, yesterday, when he qualified in 2nd on the grid, he held up the number 3, and his girlfriend there, Gemma, had to remind him, no, you finished 2nd. And so, then when he finished 2nd in the sprint, he held up the number 3. And that's where the number 3 comes with.
This for a freak accident. Throws it away, wind blows it back underneath the back. He realises that, so then he tries to move it. I saw all this going on, and I'm thinking, why is he not focusing?
We said, what's going on underneath his bike? Got a problem.
This is incredible.
That breaks traction enough for it to spin.
So where is that tear off now? Because that's worth something.
Look at where he is, though, on the field.
Right, let's see if we can watch it all the way into turn 1. This will be really interesting.
I mean, he's just almost standing still, has to roll right out. Bagnaia does brilliantly, I have to say. He still almost got away as quickly as Maverick Vinales, but he was swallowed up by the field. He must have lunged down into turn 1 and 2.
Never. Well, his brother ended up off the track, so his brother probably
quite possibly got nerfed
probably
out.
was the berm.
Jorge Martin, I think at one point in that race, I think you said it, he was obviously still going to keep pushing, but not going to take too many more risks, having seen that Mark was willing to send him wide and probably slam into the side of him.
Absolutely, yeah. He wasn't going to ride over his limit for that win. He's got a 20-point lead in this championship.
You know, I mentioned there about the 2nd places. The reason I say it is because it seems Martin, remember that run of races in the middle part of the season when he was 2nd in Assen in the sprint, 2nd in Silverstone in both races, 2nd in Austria in both races, 2nd in Aragon in both races. If he does that now, this man's going to find it hard to take the championship back.
You and your team are famous now for fighting back from Saturday to Sunday, repairing it. You made it a lot better. It wasn't quite enough to fight for the win. How do you feel about it?
Nothing. Then more than this, also today was difficult, so that's okay. We have now 2 races where I feel much better to go with in terms of feeling. Today we managed to improve a bit. I tried everything I could to stay with Jorge and with Mark, but I started to struggle a lot in the entrance of the corners, and they did a better job than us.
Congratulations.
Yeah, Pecco said it is okay. It is not okay. That interview said it all. They were entering the corners better than ours. There's been a couple of gripes, hasn't there, recently? He wants bits on the bike. They're not allowed to, he says, contractually have bits that he wants. So Ducati could do more for me.
I didn't realise that. I didn't realise that.
A little bit tense, yeah.
Okay.
Jorge Martin celebrating his 13th podium of the year, 13th for Bagnaia too. And now 20 points between them. We went on, really good. It's the line from Jorge Martin. Had a little tussle, didn't we, between Martin and Bagnaia?
They're desperate not to battle for each other.
I know.
Weird, isn't it?
I think he's forcing a smile there, Jorge Martin, but knows he's taking more points out of Pecco.
Jorge, what a job today, you know, with all that hanging over you, all that pressure of the championship on your shoulders, and still fighting like you did.
Yeah, was a difficult race for sure. For sure, you know, I had a strong pace, but the feeling wasn't the same as yesterday. The wind was really strong, so I started to lose the front, and I couldn't make this big gap. Then as soon as Pecco overtook me, I said, okay, you need to change a bit the energy, push a little bit more. I started to push this 27 up, 27.9, 27.8. And then, yeah, I knew Marquez was there. I knew he was going to try at turn 4. For sure, he had nothing to lose. So I traded the game, but it was too much risk if I wanted to make a move. So yeah, another 2 points. I took second position, 10 more points, and I'm going to Thailand. That is also a track that I like.
Great job, congratulations.
Thank you.
20 more points. It was actually 20 points, the gap as well between himself and Pecco Bagnaia, but pretty much what we said. He knew turn 4 was where he was going to attack.
Do you know what's really interesting though? He said he changed the energy as soon as Bagnaia passed him. You could see that as well, which I like. That was the killer instinct.
Respond. Clearly didn't feel that great. We mentioned about the cool wind, about the cool temperatures and the hard front tyre, all these things. He's already had a couple of front end locks, hasn't he, late in races. So let's hear from our race winner. For the 3rd time this year, Marc Marquez is on top of the box in MotoGP.
Mark, you're always box office. Thanks for throwing that tear off under your wheel and giving us some entertainment on the fight back through. Brilliant ride.
You know, was always something happened, but this time I never pulled the tear off in the start because you know, for the start and everything even is dangerous. But this time when I was putting the whole shot, the front device, just something was super big here, and then I didn't have chance, and I take out, and lucky it was under my wheel, and I saw it. I tried to remove, but it was impossible, and in fact, when I released the clutch, I started to spin. But yeah, I don't know where I was the first corner, but I overtook many riders, and yeah, I thought that in one time was impossible to catch Martin, but then in lap 5, 6, I started to get the rhythm. And yeah, I was more calm because in the beginning I was a bit stressful, but super happy for that victory. It's true that Martin pushed all the race and I was saving the tire to have the last attack.
Fantastic ride, congratulations.
Thank you very much, thank you. Bye-bye.
Michael, it really was such an incredible ride, and you've got a man there who had absolutely nothing to lose versus a man who had absolutely everything to lose. And Jorge gave it his best shot, but what a story that is, from the tear off to tearing off, quite literally.
Yeah. Weirdly, he seemed to have it all under control. The fact that he still felt he had saved his tyre, despite coming through the field, obviously, this was the moment. He didn't get his tyre off as he ran up to the grid. He dropped it under his bike. A little bit of a rookie error, but it's due to activating the lowering device. And the roll and burnout off the line, to me, I do not know how he managed to get through here and battle with Enea Bastianini on lap 1. That was such a run through turn 1 and turn 2. We didn't actually see it. We need to see how he gained the ground back, because he was back just ahead of his brother entering turn 1. But relentless through the field. He was just so strong. These overtakes into turn 1. Then when he got alongside Pecco and Jorge, he couldn't use the move into turn 1. He had to get it creative. He got a little lucky here with Jorge opening the door. That disposed of Pecco. Then this one was set up perfect. He sort of goaded Martin into it, let him go in there deep. Then it's side by side in the run down into Siberia. But Jorge immediately ready to fight back. So Mark puts it around the outside, and then the GP24 engine puts Martin in a position for the clean overtake into turn 1, but this was the race-winning overtake from downtown, lets off the brake, sends it up the inside and takes Jorge a little wide, and then puts 3 strong laps on and just ekes out a gap. Comfortable victor, but what a comeback ride. That was his best yet on a Ducati.
It was absolutely sensational, but what a race for Jorge Martin to just get 4 points from that. That was a lot of work, wasn't it?
I tell you what, when you have to battle Mark for the victory and you see Mark taking you wide at turn 4, there's a lot hanging in the balance. He was prepared to hang it all out and go against Mark. Today, Mark just had a bit more, but Jorge he risked it all to gain 4 points out of a race like that. He will be slightly disappointed, but he's got a nice little cushion again. Up to 20 points, he'd have wanted 25 tonight. That's why he was prepared to fight back. Instinct kicked in, he went for it today, and he just didn't have enough in the locker. Mark around left-handers is a bit special.
I was going to ask you next, you know, what's the situation here? We've got the old guy on the old bike beating the championship runner on the newer bike. How much of it is Mark?
Most of it. The reality is, though, Martin and Pecco say that the old bike, the GP23, has a little bit more initial grip. And you can see Mark able to extract the grip out of the Michelin mid-corner, making it turn. So he's got a little advantage in his pocket with the GP23. It may not have the acceleration or top end to match the GP24, but he used the tools. He used that extra bit of traction to get it round there to make the difference. But it is Mark. It is the fact that he's 12 seconds ahead of the next GP23. That's the man making the difference. Chapeau.
Yeah, and you know, where people question the decision that Ducati made, you can have a look at that race and say, well, there's some justification in there. Mark has just said that he had a fly on the, you know, on his tear off, and that's why he took it off, because you want your clean sight down into doings, don't you?
Yeah, and it's the one time you'll really notice it. You line up on the grid. So normally, if there's a fly, as you pull up on the grid, you'll pull a tear off, so it's behind the grid. But unfortunately, he was activating his lower-end device on the front end of the machine at that time, rolled up to his spot, wanted to dispose of the fly, and took the tear off, and unfortunately, the wind blew it under his bike, and that's it. He's done for. So, yeah, you're trying to unleash 300 brake horsepower across a slippy plastic film. It's going to light up, and he controlled it so well, rolled the throttle, got swallowed up to about 12th or 14th entering turn 1, and somehow he was 6th at the end of the first lap. That was his race-winning move there, not them passing Jorge Martin, somehow recovering through turns 1 and 2, and running down through the Stoner corner, he was already alongside Enea Bastianini.
That's funny watching that. Jorge can't watch the last bit. It's like, yep, okay, fine, I've been beaten, and I don't want to need to see it again. But let's just pause, really, and think about what we have just witnessed there with what Mark did. I mean, that was just incredible. As a we always get drama around Phillip Island, but no one could have predicted that.
We call this a racer's racetrack. Marc Marquez is the ultimate racer. He come out on top today against 2 of the fastest riders we've ever seen.
Major excitement behind us, so let's go and enjoy this podium with all these Aussies, Gav.
I like the fact that one of the signs says that 93 will never be a 46. Let me tell you something. That 93 is rewriting history books even as he is getting older. Gav on the podium.
Join Michele Mazzini and, of course, Marc Marquez. A huge cheer from the Australian crowd. A wild ride today, wasn't it? Marc Marquez proving he is king of the MotoGP jungle once more as he takes his position on the top step of the podium. Michele Mazzini takes the trophy from the sponsors, points to the sky in memory of Fausto Grassini as Giacomo Agostini, who's done his own laps around here this weekend, and one Italian world champion to another. Pecco Bagnaia third today, but you can see he's not happy. They have work to do to get it rolling at Thailand. Remember, that's coming up in just 7 days' time. Jorge Martin had to settle for second in the end. Had a few of his own issues, but nonetheless extends his championship lead to 20 points with 3 rounds remaining. But no doubt about who deserves the plaudits today. Marc Marquez got a shocking start in the race, but he has proved once more why he's one of the greats. Another victory, his 62nd in MotoGP, 88th Grand Prix win to add to what is already a legendary career.
MotoGP has been in a masterclass. A classic Australian Grand Prix down under. And it is Marc Marquez who takes Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia to school. It's champagne time down under. Very well and truly earned. So 3 races to go and 3 Tissot sprints. Next up, a week's time when MotoGP goes racing in Buriram at Thailand. We can't wait. Join us then for another round of the championship. But it is Marc Marquez who's victor of the Australian Grand Prix. Good night to you all.